Hey, Harrison here with another Daily Love Oracle. Today we're hearing from royalty, Lady Diana, Princess of Wales. She tragically passed away in 1997 in a car accident in Paris, leaving the Ritz Hotel and travelling towards, I believe, their apartment somewhere around the Arc de Triomphe. But on the road there met a tragic car accident, and that was the end of her. Now, she had a tumultuous life. She was born into royalty and married into royalty, and, what can I say? Certainly not a commoner existence. And her love oracle is quite interesting, even though her life was tragically cut short, which is always sad, isn't it, when this happens to people? She says, better to have one night of pleasure than a whole life of misery. That's interesting. Would you trade a night of pleasure for a life of misery? Interesting. One night of pleasure, then a life of misery. And I think a lot of us, we play conservative in life, and we're worried about the risks, and we don't want to take the risk because we're worried how things will work out. But, maybe there's more of a risk to play safe than there is in taking another risk. And, she says, better to have one night of pleasure than a whole life of misery. I think a life of misery sucks. Who wants a long life that's miserable? Rather have a short life, well lived, that is something you can be proud of. I think so anyway. Don't ask, don't tell. DNA tests are for commoners. I always joke, I look like different from the rest of my family, and maybe I was, my father was the milkman. It's funny because I grew up on a farm, of course my father, who, he obviously was the milkman, my father, not the milkman delivering milk because we're on a farm, right? So what she's saying is don't ask, don't tell, DNA tests are for commoners. Oh, what do we read into that? Who's the father? Who's the father? The truth is there are many people in every marriage. Well, that's her experience, and that's true for a lot of people, tragically, is they have these relationships, and in the relationship is the in-laws, your own parents, your friends, your cousins, your relatives. People all have an opinion, and a lot of people give these opinions that don't always support you in having what you want. So you're never alone in the relationship with the other person because you've got all these other factors that are feeding into what people choose to do or to not do. And, often you're dealing with past relationships too. So when you're in relationship with somebody who's had multiple other relationships, those people's opinions and experiences and everything come in and affect the relationship that you're having in present time. Especially if you have a negative experience, then that negative experience flavors all the other experiences. Or even, let's say they had a wildly exciting experience, and then from then on, they were looking to recreate the same thing, and then everything seemed boring after that. That could also happen. So this is from Lady Princess of Wales, Lady Diana. It's a beautiful card. I think it's one of the more memorable ones there. Lady Diana, Princess of Wales. I'll tell you a personal story just as a matter of interest. Anju and I, we decided to visit the Ritz in Paris, and we were with a group of people. We decided to book the royal suite at the Ritz there, where Lady Diana spent her last moments before she left. And so we stayed a couple of nights, if I remember correctly, a couple of nights there in the royal suite. And this place is decorated so beautifully. It's right on Place Vendôme, and when the sun comes up in the morning, it's just absolutely spectacular. And the suite itself is gorgeous. The bedroom is a real princess bedroom, which is modeled after Versailles. And, it's just an amazing experience staying there. And many, many famous people and royalty have called that suite their home. So this is the royal suite there at the Ritz in Paris. And we sat up late at night. In fact, I don't think we went to sleep that whole night, the first night there. We were talking all night as a group, and we were remembering Princess Diana and how this was the last place that she visited before she passed away. And I've always had this soft spot for the Ritz in Paris, because when you talk about putting on the Ritz, the song, putting on the Ritz, can't carry the tune right now. I can't remember how it goes, but they're putting on the Ritz. That song comes from the Ritz. And then the Ritz-Carlton is inspired by the Ritz Hotel in Paris. And at the time, when the Ritz was in its heyday, right in the beginning, it was such a world-class hotel, was the place to be. Ernest Hemingway, they named the bar after him. He stayed there a long time. Coco Chanel has her own suite. She stayed there. Lady Diana used to stay there, and they had an apartment up by the Arc de Triomphe where they would stay at the apartment also. So they were visiting the Ritz and then up in their own apartment. So, of course, Al Fayed, the owner of the Ritz, his son, Dodi Fayed, was, who Princess Diana was in relationship with. So I guess that's the connection between them and the Ritz. And I don't know if you've ever stayed there or if you've read the book, The Da Vinci Code, or watched the movie, The Da Vinci Code, because that's set in the beginning at one of the rooms at the Ritz Hotel. And, he starts out there and goes to the Louvre and runs across Place Vendôme and the Tuileries Gardens. It's a very interesting place, a very beautiful part of Paris, very poignant. And this is remembering Princess Diana, Lady Diana, Princess of Wales. And this is your Love Oracle for today. Stay tuned for another one. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. We will see. But coming up soon, this is Harrison, over and out.